Well, hello. Welcome back to Survival Saturday with Johnny Tiger. The date is November 16, 2024. That was a nice little warm up hitting the speed bag. And I did that for a reason. Because last time we talked about the Wing Chun chain punch, which is honestly uh, one of the more pop culture recognized thing about Wing Chun is the chain punch. But at the same time, like a lot of martial arts, Wing Chun is way more than just throwing out your fist like crazy. In fact, the most important takeaway anyone can have, especially anyone who's blind, can have from Wing Chun and similar Asian martial arts. I'm not going to say Wing Chun is the only one that does this because there are a lot of other martial arts that also do sensitivity training. So the biggest takeaway for anybody is the sensitivity training. And this is emphasized in styles such as Wing Chun and in somewhat Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Judo, etc., etc., etc. The sensitivity training I'm talking about is the ability to physically feel what's going on without having to rely on eyesight or hearing or other tracking sensory skills. As long as you're feeling it in your arm, your body, your elbow, your fist, you know where the target is and you know where the target is going to be. You can track it, you can chase it, and this is how a blind guy, totally blind, okay, totally blind, like me, can hit a speed bag, a rolling, bouncing, jumping speed bag with almost 99% accuracy. Do I miss a few times? Yes. But I dare to say that I hit it a heck of a lot more times than I miss, right? And that's all I need. Because in a real fight, in a real self-defense, especially self-defense scenario, um, all it really takes is one hit, maybe two, maybe three. Like if you have to hit someone for more than 10 times in a self-defense fight, you're doing it wrong. Okay? That's not, if you have to hit someone that many times in a self-defense fight, you probably need to work on your punching power. So one thing that we learn in Wing Chun, and like it's not very visible, because a lot of time people just watch the cool chain punching. But one part we learn in Wing Chun is how to sense movement and pressure with the outside of our forearm, the inside of our forearm, the underside of our hand, the top side of our hand, and other part of our body. So anytime we're engaged with the target, let's say this speed bag starts to roll off the back of my hand, I can immediately adjust my punch and hit it again, right? When you think about it, a blind guy doing this and the speed bag is not bouncing into my face. That's pretty amazing, right? And that is what I'm talking about. When we watch how I train my blind students during our Night Strike workshop, a big part of what we do is um, reaction drills and sensitivity training. I don't have someone here to do this with me. So, but a lot of times, what we see, what we train in, what we do is, let's say, one person would hold onto the target and then put the hand on the other person's shoulder, and the other person would try to hit the target. And the moment you feel that other person starting to throw the punch, you take the target away, right? So it's a twofold training. One is training the pad holder to react instantly when you feel the body motion of the other person. But second, it trains the hitter not to telegraph your punch, right? And then there's other drills where we put our hand together. So the one partner would have the hand on the bottom, one partner would have the hand on the top, and the person's hand on the bottom. Your job would be to smack the person's shoulder, and the person's hand on the top is the moment you feel the move, you want to block that slap, right? All these play into what I'm talking about: the sensitivity training and the reaction training, and this is what uh, Wing Chun and similar martial art do for a lot of people, but it's not widely visible or recognized. Now, um, I do want to take this episode to address something that come up again and again and again in my career as a blind martial arts instructor, a blind self-defense instructor. But first, let me readjust the camera. Yeah, just have to throw a little bit in there to liven up the blood circulation and all that stuff. So, one of the biggest uh, thing that is almost like a trope that myself and a lot of other blind martial artists run into is people inevitably will say something like, well, if you can't see me, you can't fight me. If you can't see, you can't fight. I think even Joe Rogan made that comment, right? I mean, I don't take anything Joe Rogan say too seriously because he's a celebrity that basically says things for reaction, and it doesn't really matter one way or another. But over and over again, even on my channel, on my video, I have people that say, well, all I have to do is run away, or if I hit you, I just have to run away, and you can't hit me. Like, come on, guys. You think in my 30 years of martial arts that have not been tried? And you think that I've managed to go through this long teaching and competing and all that stuff and that have not been tried? It's been tried again and again and again. And yes, you're partly correct. Okay, I'm not going to stand here and say I have some daredevil power that I'll sense a punch coming out of nowhere. Okay, if you walk up to me and suddenly punch me in the face, you're going to hit me, right? Just like the one time a fan walked up to Jackie Chan and punched him in the face. Jackie Chan didn't block it because you don't expect something like that to happen, right? But but here's the thing: if you or anyone was to hit me and run away, and hit me and run away, and use that kind of tactic, then there's nothing wrong in my head. There would be nothing wrong for me to wait until later, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, when you run into me at work or in the elevator or, God forbid, in a bathroom where you can't run away. And then I beat the crap out of you, right? If you can use that kind of tactic, I can use tactics that work for me as well. Now, has it been done in tournaments, in sparring? Yes. I have people do that all the time. In sparring, when we're sparring, they'll punch and then they'll run away. They'll back away. And then when I'm not expecting, they'll come back in, punch or kick, and then they'll run away. Right? But guess what? There are other people watching in the audience. When you're sparring, when you're competing, there are people watching in the audience. There's a thing called collective justice or social justice, if you would. So if you use that kind of tactic to fight a blind guy, most likely people will laugh you out of town. Okay? So I don't have to worry about that. And not to mention, eventually you will trip up. Eventually, there's going to be one time when you don't run away quick enough. Because I don't know how many of you have tried this. Like, okay, I hope none of you tried this on a blind guy, right? But let me show you guys how tiring this might be. Right? Sneak back in, punch, and run like crazy, back away. Run back in, run away. Run back in, run away. Right? If you have a punching bag, try that at home. And I guarantee you, within 2 minutes, you will slow down. And for me, the moment you slow down, it will be the point when I catch you. And when I catch you, at that point, I will be very, very angry because I have been punched numerous times by this point. Okay? So, as I always said to people, if you want to use that tactic, you better be damn sure you knock me out. Because by the time I catch you, it's going to hurt a lot. And again, let's even assume that your cardio is so good that you manage to keep that up the whole round and you don't mind if people laugh at you, if people say really ugly things about you for doing that. Then again, we go back to, if you do that to me, then later when we run into each other in the hallway, or if we run into each other in the bathroom, or we run into each other in a coffee room, something really bad might happen to you, right? I'm blind, right? I'm blind. No one is going to fault me if you are over there having coffee, I'm over here having coffee, and I walk over, I'm sorry, I didn't see you were there. Oh, I'm sorry, right? Meanwhile, you got a crushed set of testicles, right? So, is it true that all you have to do is hit and run away? Well, I mean, technically speaking, yes, but is it wise? Probably not, right? Now, let's address another one. Also, sensitivity and perception related. You can't hit, you can't attack me if you can't see me. Okay, this is why reaction and uh, body awareness and all that stuff is so important when training a blind martial artist. Okay, when someone hit me, when someone grabbed me, when someone grabbed my shirt, when someone grabbed my arm, what is the commonality there? Well, the commonality is I feel where the hand is. Okay, so the moment this punch comes in, two things usually will happen. Is my head will rotate to dump off most of that force, assuming you're aiming for my face. You would be pretty stupid if you don't, because if you go for my body, it's going to be even worse. Okay? You go for my head, two things are going to happen. The moment you make contact, my head roll, and most of that force is dumped to the side. Second thing, I know your hand is there. So if I know your hand is there, I know your elbow is here, I know your shoulder is here, I know your head is here, I know your eye socket is here, I know your ears are here, I know your groin is down there, right? Just from that one touch, I can pinpoint your whole body. It doesn't matter how you touch it, how you touch me. Doesn't matter. You grab me, you hit me, okay? You kick me, okay? If you kick me, again, from your foot, I know where your knee is, I know your groin is, I know where your rib cage is, I know where your throat is. Just from that one contact, it is good enough. Okay? This is why it's important to have that kind of sensitivity training. Because the moment we feel something, then we can quickly and accurately establish a mental map of what we're dealing with. I remember a couple of incidences that I'll mention. I probably mentioned them before, but I'll mention them again. One time, good friend of mine and I were sitting down, and and my friend said, "Well, you know what, Johnny? You may be really badass in the dojo, but if we ever get in a fight, I know how to beat you because there's no way you're going to be able to hit me. You wouldn't even know. I'm not going to touch you and give you a chance. You won't be able to even know where I am. Like right now, if I don't touch you, how would you even know where my head is?" And I smirked. Okay, I smirked, and I very quickly but gently reached over, put my hand right over his eyes. Okay, and I said, "Lenny, if I wanted to, I could make you another blind guy right now. What? I don't need you to touch me. The fact that you're near me, you're making noise, it's good enough. I don't need you to touch me. I don't need you to hit me to pinpoint where you are at. Now, if you hit me, it's going to be more accurate for me, but I can perfectly home in on your breath, your. No, I can't do heartbeat. Okay, I'm not that good. But believe it or not, I have known a blind guy who could track heartbeat. Now that's scary. But I totally can track you by your smell, whatever cologne, whatever you're wearing. I can track you by your voice. I can track you by your breathing. And I can track you by your most likely location, right? It's a little bit of psychology, nothing complicated. Another time, another time, a big beefy Italian friend tried to get smart, and he stood in front of me, out of my reach, and he said, "Well, if I want to fight you right now, how would you even get me? Right? I'm nowhere near where you can get me. How are you even going to get me?" Again, before he even finished his sentence, I go in, one, two, three, stomach, chest, throat. I didn't hit him hard, not hard enough to hurt him, but he was very freaked out after that, and never again after that would he even mention try to fight. Okay? These are not me trying to convince you guys I'm a badass. I'm just trying to convince you guys that if I can stand here, make a video, and I've made over 1,000 videos on this channel, and I've been training and competing. I competed for Canada, for God's sake. I know what I'm talking about. And the simple, "oh, if you can't see me, you can't hit me," is nonsense.